Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video on Peace Beats with Dan Blackwell. So today I'm doing my first reaction that isn't actually on a piece of music. I had a load of requests for this. I've never seen it and I'm really intrigued. This is Ren's video, 1 million subscribers. I think he's got a hell of a lot more than that now as well. And as a musician and a content creator myself, I'm really interested to see what he has to say because it's an interesting journey, you know, like building your way up and everything. And I can't imagine what it would feel like to hit 1 million subscribers, to achieve that kind of success and to be doing like so many positive things, affecting so many people in a good way. Must be so fulfilling. And also it must be scary as well. There's a lot to it. So I'm really interested to see what he has to say. And I'm going to be pausing throughout if I hear anything that makes my brain spark off, and let's get into it. Let's do it.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys. Yeah, I wanted to read this.
It's really nice that he's given a thank you to the reactors there. And really, it's all him in a way. The idea of whitelisting reactors to react to your videos is brilliant, and everybody wins. It really, like, it's obviously, it's massively boosted his exposure, and it's boosted the exposure of many reactors, myself included. It's really like, it's just a really good, positive thing that doesn't affect anybody negatively. And the only reason other people don't do it is greed, isn't it, really? It's like, well, I want all the money, which is fair enough, I guess, but you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot as well, aren't you? And I think he's found a really like modern, clever thing here to encourage people to react to his videos and to allow them to monetize them. It just means that everybody's first port of call, if you're doing a reaction video, you're going to do Ren, right? Not only because of all of those things I've just said, but because he's fantastic and does amazing videos and he just hits every single mark, doesn't he? The music's incredible, the lyrics incredible, the cinematography is beautiful. And his online presence, his social media, his revolutionary ideas like allowing monetization for reaction videos, this just makes him so appealing for a reactor or anybody in the internet to, you know, cover his stuff and just spread his music out into the ether. Who loses? Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Let's carry on.
I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys. Yeah, I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain. There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me, and that makes me feel very rich. I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy. Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain, and I desperately needed that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious. Nobody could have ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day. But I'm here to tell you that if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a certain, to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent. Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever, whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are. You won't hurt forever.
So there are two things that I want to get into on what he said so far. The first one is the sort of with great power comes great responsibility aspect of success. Now, I believe really that entertainers, musicians, actors who achieve great success, there is a lot of responsibility that comes with that, because throughout history, it's the role of the entertainer to influence the world in positive ways, because there's all kinds of terrible things going on in politics and poverty and environmental disasters and all this terrible stuff. And without entertainers, it would all just be too much, wouldn't it? Life would be too much without comedians, without musicians, without all the jesters and bards of the world. Throughout time, they keep the world turning. That's it's often viewed as like one of the most unimportant jobs, isn't it? And I often feel like that as a musician when I'm talking to a firefighter or a detective or something, and I always have this little chip on my shoulder. It's like I sit by my computer and play guitar and write music, and I make little videos while you're out policing and saving the world. But when you do reach that level of success, in a way, it kind of becomes one of the most important. Was it Winston Churchill who said, and I can't remember off the top of my head, so I've brought it up here, "The arts are essential to any complete national life. The state owes it to itself to sustain and encourage them. Ill fares the race which fails to salute the arts with the reverence and delight which are their due." What are we fighting for if not for art? It's the lifeblood of every country, it's of every culture, every society. Art is everything, in my opinion. And the second thing he gets onto here is how he turned his pain and suffering, his greatest darkness, this dark period of his life, he's turned the darkest period into the brightest period. He's taken all that pain and turned it into passion. And that's so inspiring and just so beautiful. And I think that is a massive message that anybody can take when you're really, really low. The only way is up. And can you take that dark thing and turn it into something positive? What, the compost and decay that pain can leave. What flowers can you grow from that? What can you rebuild with? And it's clearly it's so hard for him to say these words. You can see it's in his throat, isn't it? His court is trying to get him out. But let's keep going.
Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever, whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are. You won't hurt forever. You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. You could be instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself, because you are large. You can be ferocious, and you could be magnificent. For the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better. For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves. So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority. Priority number one. If you're
What I really love about Ren is it's not just about like him, is it, and his experience. He really connects everything from his experience to everything else, and not just other people. It's the world, it's the universe, it's this whole holistic view of life and death and every bit in between of it. A lot of people need to see this video. Like, this could really do a lot of good, and it's very easy when you're depressed, racked with anxiety, paranoid, and suffering with trauma and self-doubt and everything, just to shrink. Your life gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you just hide away and hide away and hide away until you finally disappear. You know, and that's the scariest thing. But I believe what Ren is doing here is really warning against that and giving hope to people in that situation. He knows how many people are listening to this, and this goes back to that responsibility that so many people are listening to this that need to hear it. It's really resonating with me, what he's saying about being in that dark place, turning those dark things into light. I've kind of had a similar experience a little bit with that, and it's difficult and it's hard, but like, there is something, if you can find that something out there for you that moves you, and you just take a risk on it and just go for it, whatever it may be. Maybe it's just this, you've always wanted to write a children's book or something, to just like take the leap and do it and put yourself out there, because you've got nothing to lose. If you're constantly terrified of what everybody thinks of you or whatever, then, you know, it can't get worse, can it? Write the book, and maybe you'll find you put it out there and people love it. Pursue your passion. Just don't let any of these negative voices hold you back in any way at all. Just go for it.
So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority. Priority number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it, feel it, understand it, express it, and then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love, forgive yourself, and then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts. Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
Wow. That's a guy who's been through a lot, isn't it? It's amazing sometimes, I think, how pain and trauma can like accelerate your like mental aging. Because Ren, I think he's like a year older than me. He's like 34 or something, and yeah, but he talks sometimes like with the wisdom of an elder. You know, I absolutely loved that video. I loved everything he said. And what I'm really interested in now is Everybody who watched this, what were your thoughts on it? How did it move you? Did it inspire you to do something? Did it inspire you to, even if it's just change one thing in your life? What impact did watching this video have on you personally? And what have you kind of learnt from that? I would really like to sort of get the discussion going in the comments and talk about all these things that have been covered. Let's all just help each other. If you enjoy my reaction videos, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support me to keep making more, I've got to buy me a coffee. I really appreciate all you guys so much. Thank you for putting me onto this video. It's really, it's really got me thinking. And I'm excited to do more Ren reactions. Let's keep it going. I'm loving it, loving the journey. Peace and love, everybody. Take care.